beautiful Nilly doing her thing on Insta, and swinging swords and doing some awesome badass stunnery stuff. I don't even think that's a word, stuntery. I don't think that is.
It could be a new thing. AJKICK does stuntery.
Oh my god, the grammar Nazis are killing me right now. Hey kickers, AJ here. So today we have for our match chat Miss Nilly Cetin. Nilly over here, she's all the way from the UK, another UK awesome badass.
Yeah, UK London. Hello, I'm Nilly. I'm actually a Shaolin and Wushu practitioner, weapons specialist, I would say, and going for what is the stunt industry at the moment, although I've been getting more action acting roles, but I guess people love my online personality and trying to portray that. So I'm like, okay. I'm a little bit shy in person, like in person. I'm like, I'm just going to train over the corner. I just want to train.
I guess since you're starting with that, you said you did Wushu style. Actually, we had one of my followers ask, James, he asked what your style was. Do you just study Wushu Shaolin, or do you actually study some other martial arts along with that?
So let's start from the very beginning. So at age 8, I was doing Wushu Shaolin. And of course, Tai Chi. You know, my parents were like, do this because this is also a thing. I was a reluctant ADHD child. I was like, no, I don't want to do Tai Chi. I did it anyway. So I guess you could say I do Tai Chi as well, but it's not one of my main things. I did that until I was 16, you know, competed, performed quite a lot. Then I went to uni. So let's say age 17 till like I graduated 21, I was in uni. I started training XMA style, which is, you know, the extreme martial arts we see over in America more. You don't really see it here. It's very rare. So I picked that up with another friend of mine. So I started learning the more katana, modern katana styles, a bit flashy. Did that for about, until now, quite a while. Did kendo as well. Did kendo for 2 years. Did taekwondo for 1 year. And yeah, that's about it. Everything else is just a mixture of friends picking up bits and bobs, so like boxing, a little bit of grappling here and there, Muay Thai and whatnot, but a mix of everything. But mainly in my body, it's Shaolin and Wushu. So when I pick up something different, I'm like, what's these blocky movements? I'm just like, I want to do like these kind of weird Shaolin-y stuff, crane, tiger.
No, but I think, well, especially nowadays, I feel like there's not a lot of people that actually, well, I know in the United States, I think Wushu or just Kung Fu in general, it's sometimes there's lost in, like, I guess some of the technique. I guess it's not as sharp, at least from the Kung Fu community that I've been exposed to. It's very rare, I feel like, to find authentic practitioners, and if it's just Wushu's particularly too, like a really high grade like Wushu practitioners too. And I know your movements for Wushu are like really sharp. I think definitely. I think you're badass. I can't do half the stuff that you do in terms of that, and I know Wushu takes like an exceptional amount of athleticism, flexibility, and cardio.
Oh, yeah.
Do not underestimate a Wushu practitioner, Kung Fu practitioner's cardio, because it is insane. I think it's really awesome that not only do you train that, but you also, like you said, do the XMA style actually over there, which you mentioned before. Yeah, you did it. It's not really that popular, which I kind of find interesting, because I know in America that's like the big hype thing over here. Actually, a question about that, since you're talking about swords, right? So this is actually from Sifu Cuddle. I don't know if you're familiar with him on Instagram. He's also a Kung Fu guy. He studies trailer foot, and he actually asked, how hot is it with the flaming sword when we're swinging that around? Because he said he'd be worried with actually like burning his eyebrows off or something of the sort.
Oh no, you can definitely burn your eyebrows off. I mean, people have done it before that I know of that do sword style, not because in terms in London, there's only about 3 people that do it with the flaming sword, me, Vitas, and I'll say Iski. It's a quick burning oil, it's paraffin. I don't know if you ever worked with paraffin. It's literally quick burning. The big that you see, it's actually a spore, or lycopodium spore. And that material, as soon as it gets lit on fire, it just vanishes. You can hold it for 3 seconds to your skin, 1, 2, 3. Then you would feel the heat. Just like when you're on a barbecue, you're just like, you put your hands there, it's hot, and then you're like, ooh. But you won't burn yourself. You really won't burn yourself unless you happen to spill the oil on yourself. That's what happens when you put too much oil on your sword and you happen to swing it and then it goes and just burns. that's when you have problems.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's from experience, huh?
I mean, everyone learns.
For the kiddos at home that are watching, make sure do not try these at home. Whatever advice with that, this is under adult supervision and professional knowledge here. Putting this to practice here. Just noting to you guys at home, we do not advise you to play with flaming swords unless you are trained properly for that.
You're very on the books. I love it.
How many weapons do you actually know? I know usually a lot of Kung Fu practitioners, they get exposed to a lot, but I know some people just kind of have like one or two that are their mains, or they have a plethora because of their whole career actually in Kung Fu and Wushu. So
yeah. Well, yeah, I do have mains and I have ones that I'm still like, I wouldn't call a professional, but then other people are like, oh, you're really good at it. I'm like, yeah, but I myself don't call professional. But in terms of a straight sword, broadsword, and Wushu style bow staff, that was my mains, the ones I'm confident at. And when it comes to other stuff like katana is I compare myself to other people a lot. So I look at people and be like, damn, that style was really good. Even though people be like, teach me, you're really good. I'm like, no. It's just self-critiquing that point. People would say I'm a katana professional, but I'm like, no, I'm not, but thank you. So let's say katana is one of my side ones as well. XMA style bow staff. I think I still need to learn a lot of the tricking aspect because it's not natural to me, all this kind of like circus style stuff. Well, I shouldn't call it circus, but you know, you get what I mean. Compared to the Shaolin, the rough like floor slams and you want to twirl and do something special.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I usually compare the XMA weapon tricking stuff to like bartending tricks, honestly. That's what I envision
like
most
with
of
the
the time.
pledge, you do like woof when you catch it, woof, something like that. Just say nunchakus, XMA nunchakus, traditional nunchakus. I'm pretty good at it, but I still wouldn't call myself professional or main on it. Chain whip, recently studying that one. What else do I have? I'm sure I have a lot more weapons. I'm just looking at my weapons collection. I'm like, what am I missing? Oh, spear. There we go. Spear. Shaolin style spear. What else do I have? Knife. Oh yeah, I have a knife.
I feel like you need to roll out a rack or something like that behind you.
It's literally, I literally have too many that I'm just looking around in my room like, Bokken goes with kendo though, more of the traditional fight competition style.
Bokken is that's the wooden sword, right?
Yes.
Okay, making sure. As you can tell, I'm not a weapons person because I had to question that basic thing right there. So
Shinai is the one they would actually fight with for like competition, but Bokken is more, I think, grading. I'll just say it's more for grading. I mean, I've seen people do choreo gradings for it, which is, that is the grading for it, but
well versatile array of weapons right there exposed. Definitely more than I can vouch right there. So
expensive fidget spinners, that's what it is. It's just anything to do with my fingers. But I think, never got into fidget spinners, but guns and little gunsling things, that's kind of fun to me.
I was about to say didn't you get a roller, or was it you? Or I think
yes.
So. You got the roll because you were just messing around with like doing some pistol tricks or something like that on your Instagram, and then someone casted you because of the fact that you could do that or something.
Yep.
Or that's
exactly.
The world of the action industry is very interesting, especially when you have social media as one of your main platforms to kind of showcase yourself there a little bit more. So it's kind of cool though. Pretty cool.
That's what I mean by, when it comes to that, people are like, oh, we like your personality. We like what you can do. Action actor. I'm like, no. I want to do stunts. I want to fall on my back and do crazy stuff going flying everywhere. But I don't know. I can't complain. Beggars aren't choosers at this point. I'm like, oh no, it'll lead me somewhere. So
that can actually lead into our next topic, actually. So how did you get into the stunt industry more so? I guess stunt industry, martial arts, action industry. How did your starts? Nilly's beginnings.
it was a total, okay, I'll explain the story. I'm not going to say fluke, but it was very sudden. I didn't choose it. It just came to me and I took the opportunity. So I went to an arts uni because I really like graphic design and creating things in general. And I was working in my little graphic design job and someone put me forward for a feature film role as a double. I went for it. It was practically me and this girl from France who were going to be the double. What we had to do, we had to shave our hair on the sides and dye her hair blue. She did not want to do it because she had really long black natural hair. And she was just like, no, because I know I can get other roles with my natural hair. And they're like, okay, you got the job. I went for a casting, but it was just me and her at the end. I was like, oh, cool. I did not know I'd get this far. So I ended up being a double on a feature film. And I thought, that's great. I had a blue hair for a while. My hair was, I don't know how long you followed me, AJ, but I used to be here-ish and it just got shaved off. And I had blue hair for a while. And that was my start of my journey, very much. Was put in the deep end, quit my job, obviously, thrown in the deep end. I wasn't training for stunts or anything. I was just training because I like to train with my friends. I'm like, yeah, you know, I know you guys are stunt actors, but I just want to train. And yeah, I just ended up doing that. And I thought, okay, this can be a career. Let me try and make this a career. And the more I put on Instagram, the more people were like, oh, Nilly, you're going for stunts now. I'm like, yeah, maybe I am. And they'll put me up for stuff, and then I just started getting a little bit more roles. And yeah, I should be having some more roles come through too as well. I am not allowed to say what it's for, but
I gotcha. Those NDAs always get everyone.
Exactly.
So the first stunt doubling job that you got, is that film out yet or no? Still like under production?
Whoa, it's coming out September 2021. It was meant to come out August last year, then it got pushed to May, and then it got pushed to September because we know coronavirus. But yeah, so I've been waiting for that. I'd be like, I'm gonna put in my show reel, I'm gonna put this in my show reel, and like in my head I'm calculating how cool to make my show reel, but I'm like, why are things taking so slow? I just want to make cool things happen.
But, but that's super exciting though, that you're finally going to see the fruits of your labor from your first stunt job that kind of started you on this whole path now with it. So you actually prefer doing stunt jobs rather than the actual acting jobs. Just to like reiterating that.
Oh, I would love to do more action acting, but the thing is, I don't feel 100% confident with my acting yet. Like I can act my own character, as in my real life and online personality character. I say online personality, it's not really online, but it's just like me. It is me in reality as well. But if you find me in a gym, I wouldn't really like interact as much. I'll just be like, I'm training sort of personality. But I am just not 100% confident doing other characters that I'm not sure of. I just don't know how to play it. So if someone says, can you do this? And I'm like, I don't think I can, but I will try. I don't want to disappoint anyone. I will definitely try. But yeah, but I do enjoy the whole stunt aspect, learning about how to fall safely. And of course you have all the other stuff that goes with it, the martial arts, horse riding, learning to, maybe if you're doing rally car driving, high falls, endurance training, all this kind of stuff. It just seems really interesting.
Gotcha. Do you have is there a stunt that you've learned so far or are currently working now that is like really difficult or the most challenging to you so far?
Oh my gosh, most challenging. Oh, I have somehow regained the fear of doing anything backflip related. I used to be okay with it. Grass, anywhere, I'm like, yes. But now even just going back into anything, I'm just like, ugh, like butterflies everywhere. So I just don't even attempt it, even though I'm like, I totally know how to do this. It's just, I don't know, innate fear in my head. I just need to retrain. That's the only kind of things.
Wait, I thought, didn't you post recently, unless that was like an old training video, didn't you do like a high fall backwards or something, like a jump backflip high fall thing?
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. If it's off something which I know I will land, 100% fine. I will jump off high things. But if it's like me jumping off nothing, just like a normal back tuck, that scares me way more for some reason.
Really?
I'm like, yeah. Even if it's like, oh, I land on my knees or land, you know, flat, you know, the stunt fall flat. I don't know, that scares me way more now. I'm like, what if I don't jump? What if I just
No,
I get
scary. It is very scary because I can do basic flips and stuff like that too, but my backflips are like supposed to be really, really basic, right? With stuff. I'm still like, I can't even do a backflip consistently. I have to do it off a back handspring. And even with that, like I cut my own height because I get scared. So I know, I thought you were ready. I thought you, well, you said you recently kind of just had it and just came back suddenly, but I thought you like completely erased that, honestly, from all this crazy stuff that you do and I see you doing and stuff. Just because, yeah, and I feel like you have the athletic body to do it because I know you don't just do the martial arts stuff, you actually do some weight training too. So you're like muscle strength in there, which helps a lot if you actually, besides just doing straight up martial arts traditional training, if you add weight training to it, instant like boost of athleticism and things right there to help you out doing some stuff.
Exactly. I just want a big booty. So no lie, no cap. I just want the thick thighs, Chun-Li.
Nothing wrong with that, guys. Nothing wrong with that.
But yeah, no, totally. I don't know why. Yeah, what you said, you cut your height. That's what I just feel like. I don't fully extend anymore for some reason. I just, instead of going up, I'm just like, the lowest back tuck you'll ever see. It's okay. Gyms haven't been open for almost a year now. They have been open like 3 weeks at a time. It's like, we're open again. Oh, we're back in lockdown again. So it's open tomorrow actually. So hoping get back on the gymnastics and all this kind of fun stuff, get it back quickly. And then maybe by the time this gets put out, I'll be like, AJ, I can back tuck now. I'll show you at the end of the clip.
Exact note for that for later, guys. Up for that or something. But that'd be pretty cool. That's well, have fun when that comes out, because I know when the gym opens up and you're playing over there, because I know I'm jealous of wanting to go out. I know we have gyms that are open still, but people are just stupid. I feel like still with the whole pandemic and COVID thing going around, I just don't trust other people. So going out to a physical location where people are huffing and puffing and sweating in an enclosed space.
When you say it like that,
I'm gonna wait. Yeah, I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. Let's see how the things work out after 2021 with that. But since your first film job, how many film jobs have you gotten actually recently? And is there any like particular, besides obviously stunt, you love doing the stunt work stuff, is there any particular works that you actually want, like gravitate towards? Like, is it always going to be like, say, is it commercial like martial arts work stuff? Is it kind of more like straight up the typical like action? Is there anything like, I don't know if that makes any sense, what I'm asking right now?
Yeah, it makes sense. How many jobs have I did? Oh no, I have to look at my CV. Maybe.
And yeah, if you need to hire Nilly, we'll leave a link or something like that, or check out her page for CV so you can hire her out if you need to.
Thanks. No, plug me in. I did 2 commercials, which is, I won't say it's stunts, it's more like doing martial arts for it and acting out. I'm due to do one next week for motion capture, just stunt doubling an actress for a game. I think quite a bit. No, I'm not gonna say, because my first stunt doubling one, that was actually my proper stunts. The rest of it has been more like being hired for my weapon skills, music videos, just like production companies who are quite recognizable here in the UK, who are trying to make their own features. And they're doing first, I don't know what it's called, when you're putting a feature out and you're trying to, it's like a short feature, but it's not a full feature, and they're trying to make it bigger.
Proof of concept kind of thing, proof of concept film usually.
Yeah, something like that, something along those lines. So proof of concept ideas, many of those. Yeah, I was due to start one last year, actually, in the summertime. Didn't happen because, of course, it was literally maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and it's like, oh, sorry, we have to postpone it. I just never heard back from it. And then now I actually heard back from it now, and that's one of the like things I can't talk about further, but I heard back and I was like, oh, okay, this is still going on. I thought I was forgotten in the dust somewhere, but yeah, quite a little bit, quite a few, but not many stunts where I will get knocked around and whatnot, because there was no opportunity. Because the first time I got that job, the feature one, was actually in November 2019, and we went into lockdown March 2020. So yeah, around 3 months after, it was just like, oh, we're cutting you off now. I'm like, oh, okay, bye. Bye, world.
Well, that being said, then, do you have a dream role or a dream stunt job that you would want to get hired out for, or anything in mind that you're like looking forward to do?
So I've been watching Wu Assassins recently. I really don't like the storyline, but Juju Chan, I only found her out recently, and I was like, oh, she looks like the American version of me. And she's only 1 centimeter taller. I was like, wow, this is amazing. We have the same facial structure and the same haircut, apart from hers is blonde, of course. I'm like, I need to check her out, like intensely check her out. And I was like, I would love to do the type of role she's doing. It's very martial arts based, but badass leather jacket vibes. I'm like, oh yes, be me, please. Or I don't mind the whole silent role, like Katana from Suicide Squad. She's a silent badass as well. I think I'm just into that. Leather jackets, oh my God. Yeah, totally. Give me that.
The leather jacket bad guy kind of look, or like what main protagonist, badass protagonist look.
Yeah,
pretty sweet. We'll keep that noted then, definitely, for future projects. If you need to hire Nilly out and you have a badass martial artist in a leather jacket, please contact Nilly if she fits the look that you're going for.
Or Yellow Ranger. Oh my God, my babe.
Yellow Ranger with that. Oh man. Did you grow up? Oh, gotcha. Did you grow up watching a lot of Power Rangers, actually?
I did. I grew up a lot. Power Rangers, Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh! What else? Ninja Turtles. Oh yeah, so good. Very good. Of course, Naruto as well, but that's just my life at this point.
Yeah, Naruto is bae, just saying that, completely with that. That is completely my childhood, my motivating spirits of my pre-teenage to teenage to whatever I am now.
I should have been wearing the bandana for this interview. I'll wear it for the live chat next time.
Gotcha. Yeah, Naruto, I'm on that bandwagon. Naruto is a awesome anime and inspiration to us all. So
I mean, Dragon Ball Z is also great. I'm wearing like Vegeta top. Yeah, train ethics, so good. Not realistic, but so good.
So I guess at this moment in time, you're like full send into the whole stunt performer and martial arts action actress stuff. Now, are you actually continuing doing any other jobs on the side, or do you do anything else to actually help you out with like this whole career? Because I know sometimes it's very difficult to get started out at first. So I know a lot of my friends, even myself, while we are looking for jobs out here, we sometimes have to, do things to pay the bills. So it's other things, like I know I edit and stuff. So I don't know if you still do your graphic design work actually, or if you do any other stuff.
I don't do my graphic design anymore, because I'm like, I only want to edit myself and make things beautiful myself. I don't like listening to too much other people. But anywho, I did work in the gym box with Vidas. We're actually sword play teachers. It's like a exclusive class in London only for gym box. We do fitness style swords. So it's more like commercial, let's say. It's like commercial dancing into commercial swords. It's really cute actually. But yeah, even so, with the pandemic, we haven't been able to do that. It was a struggle. Let's say it was a struggle so far. I was into my savings, deep into my savings. But things have opened up since, when have they? Maybe like November in terms of film industry, a bit earlier. Just been doing bits and bobs here. More like SPAC'd work, so special action. Not full on stunts. It's not an extra work. It's like in between there. Because they've been having a lot. Because we have the British Stunt Register over here, of course, which is its own thing. It's its own agency. You got to train for it. You got to do the prerequisites, so different skill sets. I'm not on there. It's just word of mouth for me right now. People will be like, yeah, she's great, hire her. I might bypass the industry and be like, I'm not registered as a stunt actor here, but thank you for taking me on. I hope I perform well enough for you guys. So of course, their first priority when it comes to anything in that aspect. But there is not any Asian girls in the British Stunt Register. Well, I think there's another half mixed race girl, but she's not as quite Asian profile as me. Because you look at me and it's not really like she's white. It's more like she's Asian. She's very Asian. And same with like brown girls, Southeast Asians as well. It's just no, South Asian, Southeast Asian, East Asian. It's not really much of a representation, even for guys. So it's very hard to come by. So when it does happen, there's opportunity. Even those that are not registered do get the chance sometimes, which is great. I'm like, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's a good thing, at least that they're willing to bypass the register just to get proper representation and actually give those people a chance. Because I know Aisha actually mentioned that too for her interview. There wasn't a lot of representation for, like you said, brown skin, dark Southeast Asian, darker skin Asians, or just darker skin representatives over there. So I think we have a little bit more of a variety here, obviously in the US, but still competition is high. And depending on how things go with politics, sometimes it doesn't always work out that they cast like the proper person for the role. Don't have to really get too in depth with that, but people out there, you kind of get my drift, especially with the things going on now in the world here in the US particularly. So, but I mean, but I think that's really cool though that there are people out there looking out to hire people of the Asian descent, obviously, and those other representations to just give people a chance out there too. So even though you're not registered, are you planning to actually get registered anytime soon, or like take the steps to kind of like, I guess, officially legitimize, I suppose, with that? Because I know people are, depending on their background, kind of on the fence if they want to go that route or they kind of still stick indie, I suppose. That's the way that most people put it.
Yeah, I originally was doing it. That's why I was training kendo and taekwondo, but kendo had a hiccup with someone there, so I didn't really go back. Taekwondo, I just wasn't, I didn't love the sport enough. I want to find something I love. Like, I'd love to do Wushu, but the nearest like British certified school, I think, is in Derby, and that's quite far from London.
I'm not familiar with the geography.
I say it's a 2-hour drive. It's around a 2-hour drive. And to do that, like 2-hour drive, let's say 1 hour, 2-hour lesson, 2-hour drive back, I don't think it's particularly worth it. I do want to learn maybe Wing Chun style, but as you said earlier, it's really hard to come by anyone with that level of skill that's up here, because it feels very, it might piss off Westerners, but westernized.
No, I use the term to westernized and McDojo'd pretty much. Those are the two terminologies that I think okay. So yeah, I would agree with you with those observations.
You see the professional taekwondo in Korea, which the skill level is so high, especially the board breaking. It's just, how are you flying that high? How many kicks was that? How many spins was that? And then you see the Western version. There is people, of course, you guys have martial club, which they're great, and you have jam movement over there, which holds very high level people as well. But when it comes to London and the UK, it's like there's tumblers who are doing kicks as well. Great, but there's no really amazing high level dojos, in my opinion, in London. It's just commercial cash grabbing at this point. But yeah, that's what you get when you're living in a small city and everyone's just like trying to survive with extortionate rent prices. It's anything to live, right? I was going for it and I was like, I don't find a teacher I love enough, or when it comes to like horse riding, I'm going to start horse riding. I don't know if I want to do it to the level of I'm going to pass this test just for the sake of saying I passed the stunt register test. I want to be just really good, show that level of skill and be like, you know, hire me or not at that point. This is what you can see from my show reel. There it is. Because I don't think you need these type of prerequisites like a certificate or whatnot, or just word of mouth, like I passed this to get somewhere. There's amazing people out there who don't do that. And I'm like, look at them, just look at this. Look at these people. They're great.
It's pretty, I would think so too. Because I think there's some freedom with not having to be part of an organization as well, but obviously there is some drawbacks. And that's just something you as a person have to decide whether you need to accept that and kind of, you know, fight that challenge and get yourself out there by your own means and make your own stuff. Or you kind of go with just, you know, working with the organization, which there's nothing wrong with that too. It's just finding obviously the good people around you that also support what you're doing and understand as well. It's always, I think, just community. And it also seems like you have a really cool group of friends that you train with often too. So that's always great. Regardless if you decide to go for the stunt registry or you just up your skills on your own and just, you know, have that focus of getting better at them. I would expect you to be doing pretty well actually as a stunt performer or action actress, whatever you get known for first, I suppose.
Yeah.
But pretty badass stuff right there, definitely. So yeah, for those people out there, I think we all, like, I don't know if you would agree with me on this, but I feel like if you start martial arts and you really love martial arts, I don't think you usually think of like finding yourself into doing like, say, martial arts movie action. It's like, oh, those actors in there are like really cool and you want to be badass like them. But the idea of doing martial arts just to do movies, I think is very much secondary. And I don't know if a lot of normal people understand. Yeah, not a lot of normal people understand that, I think. And I use normal people because I feel like martial artists, once you're in here and you're like living it and really understanding the dedication you really need to put to building that skill, you just do it because you love it and you take pride in doing it the best you can. There's no other way about it. Like, obviously we love getting recognized too for it. It feels good. Everyone likes getting some recognition and acceptance and praise. That's a human thing, right? But you would still be doing it regardless if there was no one watching. I feel like that's what I feel like.
Yeah,
Really
exactly.
So exactly. I think that's all you need to carry if you really want to get good with martial arts stuff. The movie stuff is secondary, I think. Movie stuff is secondary, but
that's what I mean. I was still training when I was, you know, going to uni, graphic design. I was still trained, didn't think I would get into this industry. I just loved it. And I still feel that way. I just really love what I do. And, you know, if people want to hire me for it, then great. You know, it pays the bills, which is nice. So, and then, you know, there's also the people who, this is why I personally stopped teaching my style or teaching weapons in general, because it's a niche here. It's very much a niche. You don't see hardly anyone at a high level doing weapons. And when you do teach someone, they take away a couple skills and they think they're professional and they're just showcasing that they are professional. I'm like, no. First of all, you need basic form and you haven't got that. This is why we drill the same thing. But to you, to have like 3 lessons and maybe learn, you know, a flourish, a flower, figure 8, and take that away and call yourself a professional, then I'm like, okay, this person now has lost my disrespect. And that's happened so much where people do that and do like one cool flourish and do a little short film or do whatever. And these are people who are also, you know, wanting to be professionals in our industry. I'm just like, I understand if you're just going to do it for music video or you're like a creative who just wants it in their, you know, little skill set aspect. But if you're a professional and you're going to call yourself a professional in our industry that we have here, whether it's British Stunt Register or whether it's just you're just training in general, I don't think it's respectful to the teacher to have a lesson or so and take that away and call yourself, because it makes me embarrassed as well, because it'd be like, oh, Nilly taught me, but I'm like, no. I'm like, I'll be like, correct it. I taught you once, I taught you twice. Please take that knowledge away, do what you want with it, but I don't want you to name drop at that point. It's, I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel very impartial about it all.
I completely understand though with that. It's the same thing with you. Even if you're not taking this into, say, the acting, action world and stuff, or stunt world, like just people that go into martial arts and say they took like maybe like some people say they're like, oh, I took like a year or two of like martial arts and I got like a green belt or something. They never finished a black or something if they have a belt system. But they literally were the student that came in like once a week that didn't try hard and stuff. But you're gonna call yourself a martial artist. I've kind of like, anyway, I don't mean to I don't like getting negative honestly with this stuff, but it's just like it's certain martial arts pet peeves. Like you said, you should respect the art and the time and the skill that these teachers are trying to give you and teach you.
Exactly.
So it makes sense that you can say you've trained in martial arts. I think it's a very different thing to call yourself proudly that you are a martial artist when you do not show the dedication nor the skills to really show that properly, because it's very much that's one of my pet peeves too, honestly, with that, which I am going to get into a video essay down the line eventually that educationally and more eloquently explains my thoughts on that, and hopefully would help people understand that. I don't know if it's the same idea over there in the UK too, with like people have about martial arts. It's like I always was annoyed as a kid when like they're saying, oh, martial arts is just a sport. I'm like, no, it's not just a sport. You don't play martial arts. You do not play martial arts, guys. Do
oh my
not
gosh,
play
she's
martial
now.
I'm talking right now. You do not play martial arts. What is this play thing? This makes no sense. You take so much time to do this. This is something not only you can do as a team if you were going to do like team tournaments and stuff, but this is something that like, I mean, is embedded with like culture, depending on what martial arts you study from. And like just the time, the effort and the blood and sweat and just all these other things where I get like in sports where you might face other teams and opponents, but like there's things where you literally have to fight other people too. And obviously depending on the level of combat, it's just skyrocketed. There's just so much more to just being a martial artist than it just being a sport, I think. Even like,
but even a sport is still a life dedication. You know, basketballers, they build their body in the way that would benefit basketball. Swimmers, you know, you're going to build your body to, you know, swimming. Jockey, people who learn people who ride horse riding around, I don't know, Ascot, the Royal Ascot here. Of course you're going to want to be lighter. You don't want to be bulky and muscular. You want the horses to have the best time of their life with their featherweight human, just like, yeah, I'm fast. You know, everything, whatever sport you are, it's the way of life. It's your life. Sport is life. If people call it a sport, it's a life.
Yes. But long story short, it's just more like respecting this time and dedication that you need to put into like whatever title that you're giving yourself. So whether you be saying you're a professional basketball player or you're really dope ass basketball player, but obviously you don't take the time to put in there, you got to check yourself, guys. Check yourself. Just check yourself.
But also, it's very much in the name when you say martial arts. It's an art form. It's not just a sport. It's a whole creativity to it. You're an individual at that point. You can choose to follow, or you can choose to be an individual. That's art for you. Do you want to be a pioneer, or do you want to copy and just, copy, I guess. You know, there's teachers, you want to teach your knowledge, but also you want your student, of course, to take that away and then have their own style at the end, incorporated your style. And that's how, you know, people generations down later, we have this style like XMA. XMA came from many different styles. And that's beautiful. That's really nice. I think that's really good. Because as much as I love traditional stuff, I think it's important we do learn to modernize as people, as martial artists. There is different techniques that we are able to take from different people all over the world nowadays, especially with YouTube out there as well. And I just think, you know, martial arts is great. Favorite thing.
Martial is just great overall, guys. Moving forward with the times, but also respecting, I guess, where it could come from too. I think that's the important part about it. I think there's nothing wrong with modernizing it, but just respecting where it originated from and educating yourself on that art too. Don't speak on something that you don't know fully about yet. That's
exactly.
So, but
Keyboard
I guess
warriors.
exactly that. But okay, so last question actually from a fan/follower. So this is actually from Sean from Food for Thought. I don't know if you follow that page actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he actually dropped a question. He asked, do you think you had the same opportunities living in the UK as you would living in the US?
Oh, so you guys have the SAG-AFTRA system? Is that what you guys have? As in,
Yes, I believe that one, and FICOR is the other one. It's like an in between, I think, of like union, non-union ish status, but SAG-AFTRA is the main one over here.
if I were to move to America, which I've been told before, why don't you come to America? You get so much more opportunities. I don't know. I feel like I'm doing pretty well here because it is a niche to be Asian in general. And even if it's not stunt work, it's film work in other aspects. So people's, they want to do a project idea and, still paid, get me on board. We have the SPACT industry, which is special action. Pay is still very nice. Of course, it's not stunts, but I'm very happy to do that as well. So work-wise, definitely not a struggle because of my racial profiling. And the people here I train with, I have a very good clique of people. I'm very recognized for being this sort of person. Oh, look, Nilly, the weapons person. Nilly does Wushu and Shaolin. I think there's only, in my opinion, maybe like 3 or 4 Wushu people here that are of my level or a little bit higher, which is great for profiling me. I'm like, oh my God, it's like Asian, does Shaolin Wushu, does weapons. It's like, Nilly. Anything to do with that, it's Nilly. Okay, cool, hire her. But if I was to move to America, I think there's so much out there. As you said, the competition's way higher. There's more people that look like me. There's you as well. There's you guys out there. There's Martial Club out there. There's freaking Jam Movement out there. Where's my clique? Who's gonna be my clique? I'm like, oh no, because I feel like you guys work in cliques too. I'm already ingrained into my own clique here. And to find that, I think it's hard. Unless you have a strong group of friends, I don't know if I will get work. I don't really know. I don't think I very much love London. I will love to stay here my whole life. If I get opportunity to work out there, of course, I would go out there in a heartbeat. But would I live out there? I don't really think so. As much as you guys have beautiful suns and actual seasons, our seasons come in one day. You have snow, rain, even the trees. No lie, the trees are very confused right now. I think my opportunities here is actually quite a bit better. Maybe I'll get work there, but I don't think I could live off work. Just because I made my own name. I made a name here. I think it's just that. Maybe if you just reset my whole life, plopped me in London and America, it'd be a different thing. But competition's a lot higher there, I know.
I think that's a fair analysis.
Yeah.
For that. Well, but at least we know that your AOK will come into the US if there is a possible project. So I will note that to any of my indie friends, film friends, or anything like that, and maybe hit you up down the line, because that'd be really cool to actually do an action scene with you down the line too. I mean, it would be really cool, especially with a group over here that we have, like ASDO art school dropouts, and I know Joey is like main guy. He taught me everything that I know in terms of like martial arts action and just film fighting and stuff. Like, it'd be really dope. I think it'd be really dope. You're really skilled too, so yeah. And we don't have any other kung fu people around. Joey's our only kung fu guy, so like yeah. So, and especially like good kung fu girls, I think it's very, yeah, we haven't ran into anyone in our vicinity, I guess, that have that skill set that is already doing film work and stuff. So it'd be really dope actually in the future, eventually, whether we go there or we somehow get you here or you are here or something like that to do something. So it'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool. I mean, I don't think your whole crew should come to London. It's very we don't have many fun places to film at.
Okay,
we have a city you can probably walk around. We don't have with many cops, just like, why have you got a sword? Why have you got a sword? It's like, I'm a stunt person. They're like, okay. It's not very much a common thing at all. They're like, oh, cool.
On that note, this brings us to the end of the match chat. So I guess, is there any last words you'd like to give the audience? Any advice you'd like to give anyone that wants to start in martial arts? Since I know that's kind of my thing here. It's like sharing martial arts passions from all different facets of life and things of that nature. Anything you'd like to tell the beautiful people?
If people do follow me on my Instagram or do end up checking me out, please don't go straight to a weapon. Learn your basics in martial arts. Very, very strong basics. And that will translate beautifully when you pick up your first weapon. If you just start doing weapons, you're gonna look like you're flailing about. That's my takeaway. Learn your basics.
Learn your basics. Yeah, learn your basics. Definitely with that. I'd say that is solid advice right there. And I know you mentioned already you're on Instagram. Is there anywhere else that anyone is wants to support you or just find more information where they can look? Do you happen to have a website or any other social media outlets that you use by chance?
I don't. I'm terrible with social media. I'm actually really bad with it. So just Instagram. I have yeah, I use just Instagram. I have no other social media outputs.
What if they want to hire you for film though?
Oh, well, usually because of my Instagram, beautiful feature. We have an email feature now. I don't know when we had that, but I've added it. I usually just get emailed and they tell me to show a show reel. I'm like, yes, here's my show reel, here's my CV. And that's how I will get hired usually.
Gotcha. So
Also
Instagram. So Instagram, just check her out there, follow her there for more awesome stuff. And you can follow the beautiful Nilly doing her thing on Insta, and swinging swords and doing some awesome badass stunnery stuff. I don't even think that's a word, stuntery. I don't think that is.
It could be a new thing. AJKICK does stuntery.
Oh my god, the grammar Nazis are killing me right now. But that's it. Any new projects coming up that we should be on the lookout for? I know you mentioned your first film job is coming out September 2021, so I guess we'll keep an eye out for that. Maybe do a rehash or update thing down then.
There should be I think there's a project coming out. It was meant to come out late March, the guy who's editing it, so it's probably going to come out anytime soon now, around that date he gave. So I'm like, okay, I will post that. It's called Survivors. We'll be doing a little bit of sword action there as well. Nice. So yeah, we'll see that hopefully soon future.
Ooh, sounds good with that. And I guess, yeah, that's it. That's all my closing notes right there, guys. So thank you, Nilly, for coming on out for this match chat. Had a lot of fun chatting. And as always, guys, you know what? Remember, keep on kicking. Bye, guys.
Bye. How cute.